Okay, so I'm gonna share my screen. So if I switch tabs, does it show you which tab I'm on? Or just does it show one tab?
It shows all the tabs.
All the tabs. Okay. So this one is what I want to go with at first. So I got in touch with the previous lead, solar lead, and they've told me that this is what they have done through last year. So in fall 2019, they went over and they gave an overview and presentation on solar and what that meant and all of that. Um, so, like it says, gave an overview presentation on solar and where we were at that time from the previous year. So it was pretty much similar to what I gave last time. Um, the second thing they did was they went over inventory and tested every solar block they had to make sure they were all functional, which we would do in case we had them, but in our circumstances, we don't have it. And then they planned for all the needed parts and general layout for the solar arrays, and they tested the MPPTs to ensure functionality. So they did the basic things that we would have done. So they handled that part for us. And then in winter of last year, they worked alongside with the electrical team to make the battery and the BMS functional. So that is taken care of. And then they are waiting for the aeroshell to integrate the solar panels, um, which I just got words from the mechanical team that they got to it, and I didn't realize that beforehand. So I kind of have to playing around with the what I had planned for fall 2020. So we'll see how that goes. So what we are planning to do for time being um, is that most of the steps we are waiting on is for the aeroshell to be being built. It's still not fully built, but they have a layout of it, so we could kind of get some work done in a sense. So before it being built, we can fully test all the panels wired together. That also is a bit hard for the circumstances we are in, just because we can't get to the chassis. So that's a difficulty we're facing. Um, and then this one we can do is order the sealant and other materials needed to configure the solar cells to the car. Um, this would need a bit more research to see which one is best and which one works with the financial amount that is given to us. Um, this is once aeroshell is built, with the panels must be, so once the aeroshell is built, our parts would be to properly mount the aeroshell, seal them with the water resistant acrylic or other sealant. So that is something we still need to. I'm gonna double check if they ordered that. If they did, we'll already have it, but we'll have to see how that works, kind of, or how we would have to do it. But still, that also depends on it being built to begin with. And then we'd have to wire the MPPT along with securing the MPPT and then test it fully, like test all the solar panels once they're all connected together and assembled on top of the car. Do you guys have any questions regarding this part? So this would all depend on it actually being built and not just having the design to the aeroshell. Okay. For the meantime, we could do um some things since we are. I'm not sure. Does anyone have any background knowledge in solar arrays? For me, it's still my first time, so I'm still learning about all of this. Uh, okay, I'm guessing no one. So, our first steps would be having a great, like a good amount of understanding, and then here, the competition rules and its guidelines. Did I tell you about the competition we're going to be looking at to be part of, or not yet?
I don't think so.
Okay, so I'll go over that. That's part of my plan also. But we are looking to participate in a contest. Let me double check what its name is. I believe American Solar Challenge. I have all the guidelines to it, and the Formula Sun or the American Solar Channel Challenge. Yeah, I'll double check. Give me 1 second. But I'll go over the competition rules and its guidelines, specifically ours. I also, in one of the links I shared, it has the whole handbook regarding everything that they're expecting from us. It's around 65 pages, so it's a lot. Today, I'm going to cover what is expected from solar array um, specifically, and that part as how it reflects to us. Another thing I would like us to have is a great understanding of how solar works and its function in the solar car. So if anyone asks us what is our part in it, what does solar arrays do, we kind of have some understanding since we don't really have much to work on, hands on this term. And then understand the MPPT and how to best utilize it and understand best methods for sealing and integrating solar modules to the chassis. Um, this one, I'll look into if we have some online simulations to see how we could build or put together solar arrays. That would be really great for us to understand how it works. Um, and then last part is ordering the sealant and other materials needed to configuring the solar cells. That would be like the paint or not the paint, the thing they put on top of the layer. So this was, I'll go over this later on also, but this is what I got from the mechanical team regarding the aero shell. And they had some solar arrays as part of their integration. But they said we could move it around, but that's what they had, their idea as to how it might look. Do you guys have any questions regarding this part? No? Okay. And then going back to the guidelines, this one was one of the links that I've sent in the Discord chat and in the Google Docs. So if you open it, it's labeled. So if you go to page 25 and 26, that's where it specifically talks about our part, the solar array part. It covers what type of cells we're using or their rules onto what cell we need to have. And they already bought this type of cells. So there's cell type 1, type 2, and type 3. I'll show you a video of what this means and how our cells have that incorporated in it to begin with. Um, this one goes also in details about the size limits for all 3 types of cells, which also would be explained in the video I'll show you in a moment. But these are the rules that we need to follow by to get into the contest. Um, and then the definition of the area. So solar collectors will be measured by swimming the total area of each solar cell, including all exposed bus bars, junctions, and internal structures from manufacturers' data sheets validated through measurements. So they will look over our area that is used. So we'd need to put that into consideration. And then also, again, the concentrators. If the cell collector compromises, this one basically talks about, how do I say that? The type of concentration it takes from the sun, I guess. How much does it take from the exposure and the way we've set it up in a way. And then hybrid solar collectors. For a hybrid solar collector with multiple cell types, as defined above, the total area allowable will be based on an area ratio calculation. Headquarters shall be contacted by any team pursuing this option. So it's also pretty much the same thing. Yes. Oh, and this one is pretty important. We need to keep that in mind as we build or set up our solar arrays. So teams may not use more than 6 types or sizes of solar cells. So if we build or if we put them together, the types of the cells should not be different and they should not exceed 6 types, which I believe we are going to be consistent. So this should not be an issue for us, but we need to just stay aware of the 6 types or sizes. I think that should be okay for our case, since we're using one type of solar cells. Okay, and then this one also, when we get to the contest, we need to give them a sample cell, a sample cell of each type and size installed on the vehicle, as well as the detailed map of the vehicle array. So we need to give them a sample cell and a map of the solar arrays installed on the car. Okay. You guys could read over this part. It's also all portions of solar collector physical attachment to solar car. So this is how we are connecting them to the battery and all the supported cables, and if it's done in a correct and safe standard. And stands used for pointing solar collector while the car is stationary must be self-supporting. Stands that rely on people as a means of support will not be allowed. So the wires or the stands should not rely on the people. They should be functionally doing their job alone. It should be independent in a way. So we'll go over this once we start learning more about the solar cells and how to implement them specifically. The water spray is what we will be looking at to purchase. This one will go over the, I believe it goes over the solar arrays also. So how much temperature does it, okay, ambient water, temperature water from an external source may be applied to the solar collector using hand pumped sprays. Oh, yeah, this one is important. We need to hand pump it. It shouldn't be, I don't know if there's a different way, but we need to follow this one also. If the water is applied while the solar car is stationary and the application does not present a shock hazard. So I think safety wise, that's why we're doing that. Solar collector. So yes, external. I think the last part for us is this one: external irradiance amplification. External devices is intended to increase the irradiance on the solar collector or increase the efficiency of the solar collector must not be used at any time. So we, anything that would amplify the solar arrays should not be used. Ground sheets used when charging must not increase the irradiance or the solar collector. I would have to double check honestly as to what this means. I'm not 100% sure, and I don't want to tell you something I'm not quite sure of. So this covers it for the solar array part. What I know about the contest, give me 1 second to know to make sure. So yeah, so it's the American Solar Challenge. We are hoping that we can join it in the summer of 2021. It will be a contest to go over states. I'm not sure how many hours, but it was, let me, it's been a while since I went over this. Let me check how many. Yeah, but it's not like a race in a regular race inside or a track or something. It would be over states. So that's why this is pretty interesting. And yeah, I'll double check over which states it's going to be going over and its route. And I'll get back to you, if not now, but I'll text it back on the Discord chat, okay? Just to get going before the time ends. Okay, and then So we went over the expectations over solar. Okay, so last time I said something that was wrong about the how strong. I said that they're not too strong and they could get flexed if they weren't properly put, but it's wrong what I said. They are actually pretty strong. Okay. Let me open it. Wait, this is not it. 1 second. This is not the video.
SunPower Maxion's
Can you guys hear the sound or no? Okay.
solar panels, rated #1 in durability. At the core of every solar panel is its cells. We designed each layer of Maxion technology to last, with a cell structure that is patented and unique in the solar industry. Conventional cells rest on a thin layer of metallic paste. Only Maxion cells are built on a solid copper foundation, making them virtually impervious to breakage, as scientific testing in laboratories makes clear. A simple 3-point bend test reveals how a cell will stand up to harsh conditions like those on your roof. Let's watch. Where others break, Maxion bends, ensuring your flow of solar energy continues uninterrupted to maximize your savings. Your choice of technology matters. Choose solar and savings you can rely on. SunPower Maxion solar panels. Fundamentally different and better.
So the ones on the bottoms are the one that we're gonna be using, and you saw it takes some time to actually break under strong events or harsh conditions, I would say. So that's why I remember in the first video I said they're more effective than others. And this is mainly one of the reasons why. And they do stand harsh conditions like weather, whether it was heat or rain or other things in the process of it. So um, the ones we're using are pretty strong holding. Um, do you guys have any questions so far? No? Okay. Uh, one video I thought was pretty interesting was this car they're building completely solar. And it should be on the market soon. It's also from the same company we're getting our solar arrays from. And they're showing us how or what are the things they look at and keep in consideration when it comes to efficiency to the car and how they're trying to make it more efficient and to stay longer. So, do you guys want to watch it? I thought it was really helpful to me, at least, um, to see what are the tests that they put the car under. This one is just a 17-second video, so it's just gonna show you a video of the car. Wait, why is there no sound? Okay, but this is how the car looks like, I guess. Okay.
Lightyear 1 is a very efficient car. And one of the factors that's influencing that is the drag of the car, so how much resistance it has to the wind. So if we reduce that resistance to the wind as much as possible, we can drive further with the same amount of energy. So it's important that we test here how well it performs with different wind speeds. So we test the airflow over the car, how much drag does it produce, how much lift does it produce, and what effect that has on the range eventually of the car.
Besides the aerodynamic performance, we also validate the behavior of the car in different settings that you can find on road, high turbulence levels, low turbulence levels, side wind. With the validation of the acoustics, we make sure that when people drive our car, that they have a nice and quiet environment while sitting in the car.
So during the test, we first tested a baseline to validate our simulations and also to see how it performs in the baseline. And after that, we did around 20 to 25 adjustments of the car, so different geometries, taping some edges, and to see what the effect is on the final performance of the car.
The bottom of the car is quite a flat surface, so we have like kind of a profile of a wing, and that allows us to gain quite a lot of aerodynamic performance out of it.
We have a very shallow slope going to the rear, and the flow can stay attached over that full length. And if you have a shorter car, we will have a steeper slope, and that will detach the flow and will create a lot of drag.
A longer car gives the vehicle a higher pressure recovery towards the rear of the car, pushing the car actually forward.
From the wheel, it's a turning mechanism on the car, and it produces a lot of drag. When we put these wheel covers on, the air is more guided around the car.
Well, as soon as the car is put on the belt, and this location is just a very emotional moment because it's something that we were waiting for so long.
We got a drag coefficient that was even lower than we were hoping for, and we were really excited with the amazing achievement we got.
So we are really proud to have achieved the lowest coefficient of drag of all the production cars worldwide now. So we're quite proud of doing so.
Okay, so another purpose I wanted to share this video with you is that he said they went over more than 25 tests, or 25 to 23, to get it to the most efficient number, which I thought was quite a lot, but I also saw how determined they were to get it to the lowest amount of drag, to get it moving the great amount of speed they want, or the most efficient speed they want it to. And they added a bunch of stuff or removed a bunch of stuff, whether it was the friction from making the car taller from the back or shorter, adding the thing to the wheel if you saw it. So I just wanted to use this also as some sort of motivation, is that it won't work maybe from the first time. It might take 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, but at the end we could get it to the way we want it to if we just stay determined to it. But do you guys have any questions regarding the video? No? Okay. So I have just received, like minutes before the video, some designs from the mechanical team. It gives us more display about measurements of the car, how tall it is, that from different angles. So it could also help us when we are trying to put in the solar arrays on top of the car and how we would like to divide it to. So we have the measurements of each solar cell, and we could use the math given to us right here. This is a great approximation. This one was an older version. It's not the newest version. They're still not 100% sure about the aeroshell. They're still kind of working on it, but this is what we have as to the closest approximation of it. So we could use this handy regarding the measurements. So we have 189.66. I believe it's in meter, not in meters, in either inches or I believe it's in inches. It makes sense to be in inches. But I could also double check. I did not have time to go over it just yet. And I believe this part is is, what is this for? Yeah, so I still did not go over this one. Um, I'll get back to you with more details and specifics about it on our next meeting. I just don't want to give you something that's wrong again. But as I said, I just got it moments before. And then they also integrated some solar cells on it on a different one, but they said this one is subjected to change, the aeroshell design. So we'll just work with what we have for time being and see how it gets us. This is a better a better picture of the aeroshell with nothing on top. You also have the resource. I just added it to the links on the Google chat. I'll send it over in the Discord chat also. This is the same thing, but with the solar cells included right on top. They said this is what they imagined it to be like, but we could also change it to how we think might be better as we learn more about solar cells and solar arrays. Do you guys have any questions regarding this? No, okay. So I know we have we are in week 6. Week 6 or week 7? I think week 7. I'll double check. 7, right? So this was our week 7. I would say we have 3 meetings to go. So we kind of don't have much time. And with the resources we have, we don't have a lot to do. Like hands-on. So what I would want to do right now is kind of go over a timeline. My priority is for us to know how the solar cells work really good, have a good understanding of it, and understanding the MPPT. Okay, so we only have 10 minutes. But that's what I want to go with. I think having the 3 meetings, I'll make sure we go over the solar cells, for example, on one day, and PPT on another day. And we could go over the solar cells again, since that's like we need to go over that a lot and have quite a good amount of understanding. And the sealant or the materials that are needed in one meeting. Do you guys think that's enough? Or do you guys want to do something else during that time? I'm open to suggestions, but that's how I'm kind of planning my 3 weeks left of this quarter.
I think so far that plan is good. Just to go over each topic each week.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so sounds good. That's it for what I have today. I kind of just wanted you to have an overview of how the car is in details. What are we going to be expected in the contest? Just going over some basic rules they gave us specifically regarding the solar cells, and to show you how our solar cells that they've purchased earlier on, how strong they are and how we will need to be working with them. So that's about it. I think starting next quarter, we could work on the solar design, the solar array design more in details. So I just think have us knowing more about it, because we're still kind of new to all of it, would be a good head start to putting them all together and giving us the strongest layout to the solar cells. Sounds good with you guys? Okay, so that concludes it for what I had to have planned. If you guys want to add anything else, go for it. If not, we could end it right here. And I'll be updating. I'll also see if I can share the original solar car drive with you guys. If not, everything with mechanical, electrical, and all the other teams, there's a whole drive for it. If not, I'll be creating a solar array folder, and I'll share it with you. It will have everything we talked about, will be talking about, and what we talked about in the past. Whether it was the links, I'll keep them all in one specific folder. I'll organize it pretty well, and if you have any suggestions as I do that, just let me know. We're here to work together, so I'm open always to suggestions, okay? And the last things, I know I didn't post the first video. I just kind of got busy with other things, but hopefully I'll be working on uploading today's video and last week's video, oh, not the first video we had, onto YouTube, and I'll be sending the Solar Cars YouTube channel also on Discord, hopefully by the end of the night. That's it. Sounds good?
That's good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.